Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for keeping it TV 47. My name is Betty Kialo. Well, I trust that you had a great week, a great day. It has been so eventful today. But you know what? I'm here to try and make sure that we end the week on a bang. So tonight we have a fantastic show lined up for you. I've seen so much conversation about my guest tonight. Of course, the baddest in the building. Well, I'm talking about the one and only Millie Odhiambo. But before we get to that, of course, we have your favorites. Apart from the extensive news coverage, we have Willis, the word master, who's going to be joining us from Kisii County. Let's see if we can actually just say a quick hello. Willis, can you hear me? Willis, are you there? Yes, Willis, if you can hear me, how are you doing tonight? All right, so I understand that Willis, we can see him, but really we cannot hear what he would say. We're going to get him just a few minutes from now, but we also can cross over to the one and only Millie Odhiambo. So what happened? She was supposed to be here in studio, but she got on with a very, very bad flu, and I just want to join us. At least she was able to join us virtually. Honorable Bad Girl, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
I'm so sorry, my goodness.
I'm good with a bad voice, but I'm good.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm always so used to you being, so energetic, but how are you feeling tonight?
Oh, much better, much better.
Okay, all right. Okay, we're going to be talking to you in just a few minutes right after the bulletin. But of course, it's going to be a great show, notwithstanding we have the bad girl in studio. I know there was so much excitement to have her right here, but it's okay. She's not feeling well, but we'll try and make it worth your while. So we'll have a great show. We also have our guest anchor segment. And tonight we have this lovely lady. She's called Brenda Michelle. So she has parrots, she has puppies, and she is going to be here with them in studio. She's going to be our guest anchor much later on the show. It's going to be a great show. Let's begin with the highlights. State of panic and uproar after 6 bodies were discovered opposite a police post in Pipeline area in Nairobi.
Jana kuna mtu alikuja hapa akasema kuna ndoto anaonyeshwa. Si ndio alituleta hadi hapa karibu. Tukakuja hivi tukaona hiyo mwili moja. Kuangalia mwili moja, kumbe sasa leo ndio tumekuja hapo. Tukaona hata si hiyo mwili moja, kuna gunia zingine kadhaa.
Police at pains to explain how the bodies got there.
It's a very, very major concern kwa sababu tunajua security is a big problem, particularly in this area.
Tonight, we bring you the tales of some of those who say they were abducted for participating in the anti-finance bill protests, as human rights bodies pledge serious court action.
I had a knock on the door. It was 3 p.m. in the evening. When I opened the door, I saw it was 4 guys and 1 lady. The 4 guys were in balaclava, and then the lady was in a face mask.
I, Japhet Kome Nchebere,
Inspector General of Police Japhet Kome resigns in the wake of widespread condemnation over the anti-finance bill protest deaths. Douglas Kanja appointed acting IG. All right, thank you so much for joining us. Let's begin with our coverage tonight. Our sign and language interpreter is Rhoda Wamai. All right, now, as the quest for justice for those affected during the protests continue, many of the victims of the abductions continue to recall what they went through. Now, Bill Mnamasi, one of the abducted protesters during the anti-finance bill protests, narrates the torture he went through in the hands of unknown people. Take a look.
We had the maandamano on Tuesday, and then the one on Thursday, which had a large turnout. And then on Friday, I think it was 21st June, I was just in my house So we were still having that adrenaline. I was still posting. We were waiting for the next week on Tuesday to appear again on the streets. So I was still in the house tweeting, encouraging people, because we knew what we were doing now is becoming bigger. I had a knock on the door. It was 3 p.m. in the evening. When I opened the door, I saw it was 4 guys and 1 lady. The 4 guys were in balaclava, and then the lady was in a face mask, so I couldn't see their faces totally. I only saw their eyes. And when I opened the door, one of them held the door open, and then they asked, "Billy?" So out of fear, I just answered yes, and they entered. So the whole time I was asking, "Nimefanya nini?" They silenced me with a few slaps. They looked around, they saw a t-shirt on my chair. They took the t-shirt. So maybe I thought maybe they wanted to use the t-shirt as the evidence, because it was the t-shirt that I had worn in the maandamano. But they used it to cover my face instead. The next minute I know they are whispering, "Ni hapa ama ni hapa." They took me out of the car. The next thing I know, I'm going down some stairs. Then I was ushered in a small room. It was very cold. And then I could tell ni kama zilikuwa tiles, alafu the floor was a bit wet. They told me to sit down. And then they told me to get up. I lie on my stomach. I hear footsteps. They come. They open the door. Then unajua they had removed the cuffs, wakatumia zip ties. Na the more I struggled, the more zilikuwa zinajikaza na mikono zimeganda. My blinds kidogo tu hadi hapa ndio nitumie mdomo. So I drank tea in silence. Nikasikia kitoka. Hapo ndio nilipata opportunity ya kufungua blinds. Ndio nikarealize I was in a small toilet.
Quite sad situation there. Now tonight, the dark cloud hangs within the slum of Mukuru Kwanjenga as residents now live in fear after 6 bodies were discovered at a dump site in Kware area of Pipeline, Nairobi County. Now this shocking revelation has raised questions among residents, as majority of them claim it could be bodies of people who disappeared mysteriously after the protests. Activists say the bodies have been taken to City Mortuary, and Paul Kirobi has the latest, including how police are at pains to explain just how the bodies got there.
These were the scenes today at Pipeline area in Nairobi County. Gory scenes at the Kware dam side. Bodies said to have been pulled out of quarries in the area, some in polythene bags and others in sacks. At least 6 bodies were recovered by this evening. Witnesses say some of the bodies were fresh, while others were decomposed.
Kuna hata siyo mwili moja, kuna gunia zingine kadhaa. Sasa ndio tumetoa mwili kaa 6 hivi. Bado naona nikaa kuna mwili zingine hapo kaa 3. Kitu mwili moja ndio tumepata ikiwa full. Ingine tumepata hizi zingine ni nusu. Na wote ni wanawake.
A wave of panic and fear has swept the area as questions emerge how comes bodies were found in this dump site. Making it worse, locals who are retrieving the bodies from the dump site says most of the bodies recovered seems to be female. But how did residents realize there were bodies here?
Kuna msichana mmoja alikuja huko kwetu, ndio sisi wote tunakaa huko mbele kwa gate. Kuja akatuambia, alionyeshwa kwa ndoto kuna sister yake, anaonyeshwa kwa wapi? Ako huko ndani. Unaona? Na anaonyeshwa ni kama ako mahali. Ako kwa shimo. Ndio sasa akatuita, akasema hebu tuendeni hivi. Tukakuja na yeye mzuri, akatuambia tebu ile gunia kwa pale mwisho, tebu tuone ile gunia iko na nini.
Human rights activists suspect there could be more bodies dumped within Mukuru Kwanjenga, even as queries of who the dead are and if they are from within the locality.
Some of those bodies were already decomposing, na kuna ingine ilikuwa bado ina bleed to show that it was fairly recent. So this is a very very major concern kwa sababu tunajua security is a big problem, particularly in this area.
It should be noted that several families have recently been complaining about missing persons, most after the recent demonstrations in the country, the since reawakening the memories of the dreaded River Yala, where at least 40 bodies were retrieved in 2022.
When I came into office, I said 3 things. Number 1, I said there will be no extrajudicial killing in Kenya.
According to the Director of Criminal Investigation, homicide detectives and officers from the Forensics Division of the DCI are currently analyzing samples to identify the bodies. The area has been cordoned off and designated as a crime scene as investigation continues. The process of recovering bodies is set to continue on the better part of Saturday, even as the bodies were preserved at the city mortuary. Paul Kerobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, the presidency today accepted the resignation of Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome, a surprise move that comes after days of pressure for the president to dismiss him over allegations of excessive force and brutality by police to youthful protesters. Douglas Kanja now takes over as acting Inspector General, and Sheila Chelangat has the details.
I'll subject myself to the Constitution or acts.
He was sworn into office on the 11th of November 2022, and today marked the end of his 1 year, 8 months and 15 days at the helm of the National Police Service.
I, Japhet Koome Nchebere.
The past 1 month, however, has not been a smooth ride for him, as Kenyans put him up to task to take responsibility for the alleged excessive force and brutality by police during the anti-government protests. It is also his loud silence on the allegations of excessive force against peaceful protesters that seemingly piled more pressure for his dismissal.
Unaona vile amenyamaza, more people are getting abducted. Na hiyo inafanya watu wanaanza kuogopa nini. Sisi wenye tuliachiliwa bado sasa tunakuwa na kale ka worry, will they come back?
Neither did Koome release any statement of the status of the security situation, to which at the time human rights organizations put the number of those dead at 39, over 300 injured and about 24 arbitrary arrests.
Apprehend all police officers implicated in the murders of the over 200 innocent Kenyans in peaceful protests since last year.
The resignation could be seen as a serious indictment on the president, who during the presidential roundtable interview weeks ago lauded the police for a job well done in quelling the anti-finance bill protests.
As things stand now, Mr. President, are you satisfied with how the police handled this whole matter?
I think the police have done the best they could. If there are any excesses, we have mechanisms to make sure that those excesses are dealt with.
Koome's resignation comes a day after President William Ruto dismissed almost his entire cabinet, seeking to contain widespread public anger against his government. And so after the president's acceptance of Koome's resignation, his deputy Douglas Kanja takes over as acting Inspector General until when the president will nominate another and is approved by Parliament. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
To Matters Health now, and the rollout of the new comprehensive health plan by the government has suffered a blow after the High Court declared the Social Health Insurance Fund unconstitutional. A 3-judge bench constituting Justices Alfred Mabona, Robert Limo and Frida Mugambi halted the compulsory national insurance over the lack of public participation and disparities identified in the Social Health Insurance Act. Well, consequently, the court has given Parliament 120 days to undertake public participation and amend the unconstitutional provisions in the Act.
Tonight, the government finds itself yet again in the shackles of the demands of the Constitution, after the High Court declared government's new health plan, the Social Health Insurance Fund, unconstitutional. The day began with the receipt of a message from the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF. Every Kenyan using this insurance received a message that read, and I quote, "Thank you for your loyalty. Starting from October 1st, your social health insurance will be provided by the Social Health Authority. Please dial *147# to register." Hours later, a 3-judge bench constituting Justices Alfred Mabona, Robert Limo and Frida Mugambi faulted the process of formulating the Social Health Insurance Fund, Digital Health and Primary Health Acts of 2023 over, among others, the lack of public participation and disparities identified in the Social Health Insurance Act.
The provisions of Article 201 of the Constitution must be understood and interpreted against a historiography
The rain started beating the program, one of President William Ruto's flagship plans, months ago, when a petitioner by the name Enoch Aura moved to court challenging the manner in which the new healthcare plan was instituted. The Ministry of Health and Parliament was faulted for, among others, failing to get concurrence from the Senate, the decision to bar unregistered persons from accessing healthcare, which negates Article 43 of the Constitution, the reduction of the publication period from 14 to 3 days, lack of adequately trained personnel, and using English to conduct public participation when a majority of Kenyans understand Swahili better than English.
We agree that there is reason for apprehension as expressed by the petitioner.
The bench siding with the petitioner. The bench also questioning the haste in which the process was executed. As a consequence, the court has given Parliament 120 days to amend the Act's failure to which the Act will remain suspended. Today's ruling comes less than a week after the President exuded confidence on the rollout, which was set to happen in under a month. The Social Health Insurance Fund was meant to replace the National Health Insurance Fund with deductions set at 2.75% of one's gross income. Ruga Eval, TV47.
Incidents of road accidents are on the rise. This is after close to 20 people perished in road crashes in a little over 24 hours. Mazden Wambugu has these details.
These are heartbreaking images of moments after lives were lost tragically on road accidents last night. Garissa County witnessed a devastating road calamity where 10 passengers died after a 50-passenger capacity bus hit a lorry that was parked by the road.
Unfortunately, we have lost 10 persons in that accident. This accident happened this morning at about 1 a.m. Unfortunately, on reaching at a place called Katumba area, between Garissa and Mwingi, unfortunately it found an unattended trailer on the way, and unfortunately the bus rammed on the rear of the trailer.
In Machakos County, a heartbreaking scene was witnessed, a mother and child dying on the spot after being hit by a lorry while on their way home, the rider escaping with no injuries.
Wenye wamepoteza maisha ni bibi ya mwalimu ambaye tunafunza na yeye na mtoto wake ambaye alikuwa anatoka shule. Na hii barabara mara mingi tumeona kwamba haijatengenezwa vizuri ipasavyo.
This coming barely 24 hours after another clash in Murang'a County, a head-on collision witnessed involving a personal vehicle and a lorry killing 5 people and leaving 2 in critical condition.
Akukozangi mtu kwa kila wiki kwa ndugu. Mpaka watoto wa shule tunataka hii barabara iwekwe bampu kutoka huko juu, bampu kama 5, tunataka bampu 5.
Mazden Wambugu, TV47.
Now, hundreds of students from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, JKUAT, earlier today took to the streets of Juja and marched to the Juja police station demanding justice for one of their comrade, Denzel Omondi, whose lifeless body was found dumped in a quarry at Gashoshoro, Juja, Kiambu County. Here's more.
JKUAT students on Thursday evening held a candle-lighting vigil for their slain comrade Denzel Omondi, who lost his life in unclear circumstances last night in Juja. During the candle vigil for their fallen comrade at the school, the students agreed on taking to the street to seek justice for Denzel Omondi, and this was the situation in Juja earlier today. Denzel, a third-year quantity survey student, went missing after engaging in the anti-finance bill protest dubbed Occupy Parliament on 25th June, only to go missing on 27th June, with his lifeless body discovered 1 week later floating at a deserted quarry in Juja.
Denzel was involved in the anti-tax demonstrations. After that, he was abducted on 26th of June this year. Since then, amepatikana amekufa. So you want to know what is the status of an inquiry of his murder inquiry?
The postmortem says he was there for 3 days. About the other 3 days, where was he?
The students are now seeking answers to what led to Denzel's death and want those accountable to face the law, with the students complaining of what they termed as lack of transparency from the authorities.
The DCI are taking this matter slowly.
With that investigating team to tell us what have they done. Wanatuambia we'll keep on updating you. Where? And even after the death of Denzel, there was no official communication from the investigating in Juja.
The state is not giving us, comprehensive information with gravity.
The students have now called upon President William Ruto to conduct investigations on the DCI and police officers at Juja police station and to immediately transfer them to other stations to their incompetence and lack of transparency.
We want to tell President Ruto to fire the IG, to change the security structure here. The DCI of Juja here.
Tukifika pale tunaambiwa tuwezi ingia kumuona.
Why?
What is the government hiding from us?
The comrades now want answers to the mysterious death of their 24-year-old slain comrade, who will be laid to rest on 22nd of this month. Samira Mohammed, TV 47.
Now, county governments across the country now seem to be the next focus of the Gen Z-led protests, as several governors have already tested the young protesters' grievances. Now, today, Gen Z protesters stormed the offices of the Vihiga County Governor, Wilbur Otichilo, demanding answers on allocation of funds to vocational training colleges, as well as raising integrity issues over the county staff. Arnold Adidi reports.
When these young people-led protests began, the focus was mainly on national issues, protesters boldly taking to the streets on national grievances. But as days go by, Gen Z-led protests are now expanding even further to counties. These were the scenes today afternoon outside Vihiga County Governor Wilbur Otichilo's office. Young protesters, mainly students from vocational training colleges, stormed these premises, raising questions over allocation of funds.
Na unapoona sahi tuko katikati ya tear gas, we want accountability na transparency in managing of public funds. MCS wanatembea kwa baraza, kwa matanga, wakiambia raia, wazazi, watume wanafunzi wao waende VTCs. Pesa imeallocatiwa huko na national government na pia wametoa pesa. Ironically, the same MCS wameletewa budget kutoka kwa executive na ilikuwa na zero allocation to VTCs. Tunauliza Bwana Temba na the whole executive, pesa ya VTC iko wapi?
Vihiga County Deputy Governor Wilberforce Kitezo tried to address the young protesters, but in vain. When all seemed to be going south, police had to lobby tear gas to disperse the angry youth.
We want accountability in this county. So tutasalimia MCS wote, tuwako recess. Na ule atatoroka kwake, tutamkabili kwa county assembly. Hii maandamano ni warm up, tulikuwa tunajaribu kutest, kuna tear gas ya kutosha Vihiga County, tutaingia stress ndo maslahi yetu kama trainers, kama VTC staffs ishughulikiwe.
The situation was the same in Bomet County on Thursday. Protesters pitched camp at various county institutions, including the Bomet County Assembly, asking Governor Hilary Barchok to quit office over allegations of poor leadership. Today, the governor responded.
Probably the multitude meant well for all of us, but a few individuals wanted to take advantage of that and destroy our properties and even kill some of us. That is the message, and that is what we can decode from the speeches that were made yesterday. So that one we want to condemn.
It was a classical case of same script, different cast in Machakos County. The Gen Z protesters insist that devolution has to work. And as the protests now head to counties, the 47 governors could be in a fix as they face the highly inquisitive and persisting demonstrators. Arnold Adidi, TV47.
The unrelenting Gen Z. Now tonight, President William Ruto faces a tough and delicate balancing act in picking his next cabinet. Now the president, who is caught between a rock and a hard place, has to balance competing political interests and regional balance factors, while bearing in mind 2027 could be a make or break moment depending on his new cabinet lineup. Kenyans unhappy with the poor performance of his last cabinet expect competent men and women to meet Kenyans' expectations. Apollo Kamau has the details.
President William Ruto's mantra of a broad-based government, a term that has gained traction this week after he dissolved his entire cabinet, is just but a tip of the iceberg of various competing forces at play on his quest to satisfy Gen Z demands and the political class.
And it is important that we remind our president that even as he reaches out to fellow Kenyans, as he brings them on, let him bring people who believed in his vision, who know what the better agenda is, and who will help him achieve the better agenda.
Rais alifanya jana, sisi tunamwambia constitution ya Kenya imempea ruhusa. Yeye afanye kazi yote ile constitution imempea, akarabati nchi yetu ya Kenya, na sisi watu wote tuko nyuma yake kama rais wetu. Hata akiteua mawaziri tuko nyuma yake. Na tunamwomba Mwenyezi Mungu amuonyeshe wale watu wazuri wataendesha Kenya yetu mbele kwa vizuri.
The president, who cannot ignore the fact of co-opting Gen Zs in his administration, is facing a barrage of expectations from Kenyans on the streets to leaders from all walks of life on forming a corrupt-free and competent cabinet.
We want the president to choose leaders based on competence, based on integrity, yani wakuwe very transparent, people who are willing to work for the people, for the electorates who took them there.
2027 would be very far. If Gen Z are not considered within the framework of this government, Ruto will not only be a worried man, but he would be pushed to resign. So this is the right time to have young people or Gen Z included in the government.
The president has to face the opposition waiting in the wings to share the pie in his new cabinet without upsetting an already fragile relation with his deputy Rigathi Gachagua, given the sacked cabinet secretaries were a product of horse trading, especially in the Mount Kenya and Rift Valley regions, who voted almost to a man for Kenya Kwanza.
I also have a request to make to my president and to remind him that as he does this, he must never let 2027 out of his sights. He will need a re-election, and therefore, as he crafts his own new cabinet, number one, I humbly request him to bring in the deputy president and let them sit together and craft even a better cabinet, because the regions that voted overwhelmingly for him will be looking to see how he treats them this time round.
Bearing in mind his 2027 re-election, President William Ruto will have to build confidence among the youth and Kenyans at large by choosing a credible cabinet made of technocrats to deliver his plan, or a mix of politicians and technocrats without weakening his grip on the government. And no confidence vote looms large in 2027 or earlier through a snap election if the president repeats his 2022 gamble. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Now, the Orange Democratic Movement Party now says it stands ready to help President William Ruto to come up with measures to ensure peace, address employment, corruption, and even punitive taxes. The party says the conversation with President William Ruto should be given first priority going forward, as this will help the country have stability due to the recent demonstrations that have been happening. Now, ODM's message comes even as Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and Gen Z distance themselves from the dialogue that is yet to happen come next week. President William Ruto called for dialogue to iron out burning issues that continue to destabilize the country.
We stand ready to support the country come up with measures that can restore lasting peace and stability and address the long-standing issues like unemployment, the unending search for justice and equality, fighting corruption, negative ethnicity in our national life, instilling a tradition of meritocracy in appointment to public office, and ending the unfair and punitive economic and taxation policies. This conversation, in our view, must come ahead of other conversations on the structure of our national governance going forward. As a party, ODM has never shied away from stepping up and having difficult conversations whenever the destiny of our nation is at stake. Indeed, it is said that it is in times of crisis that leadership emerges. The emerging issues and the urgent need to address them is not about rescuing the Kenya Kwanza regime or indeed William Ruto. The nation is bigger than and distinct from any one of us. We see this as a chance to rescue our nation and pull it back from the precipice.
Well, thank you for staying with us right here on this Friday with me, Betty Kialo. So I want us to just cross over to Kisii County quite quickly to just say hi to Willis. Remember, we started the show and we just had a small technical hitch. But Willis, right now, can you hear me? And how are you doing tonight?
Oh, Betty, the phone has finally come. That is, the call has finally reached me.
Yes.
And I can hear you, Betty. How are you?
Well, fantastic, Willis. It's good to see you. How's the week been? And what can we expect tonight on Which is Which, Willis?
Well, Betty, we expect this word. And the week has been good. Now, for those who want to try their tongues, they can try it with this word. A bit long, but manageable, Betty.
I like that you say manageable. All right. Willis, it's good to see you. Look ravishing in that blue. I also have some words of my, a word for myself, a question tonight. So before we take a short commercial break, Willis, do we say patriot or do we say patriot? Like our guest tonight, Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Do we say patriot or patriot?
You say patriot, and it's also acceptable to say pa. That letter A can take its name, that is A, pay.
Okay.
And it can also take what we call the short, low front sound, a.
Okay.
Patriot.
Okay.
So patriot, yes. Patriot, yes.
Okay, thank you for that. I didn't know, and I'm sure some viewers maybe did not know. So, Willis, I'm looking forward to Which is Which coming up at the top of the hour. Stay put, and we'll be waiting for that lesson tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take a short commercial break, but listen up. Remember, we have Millie Odhiambo, the bad girl. So, she was supposed to be in studio, like I mentioned when we started the show, but she's a little bit under the weather. So, just to make sure that she's not moving around too much, she decided to welcome us into her home, and so we'll be doing a virtual conversation with her in just a short while. So do not go away. We'll be right back.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO. And the rest of
what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave, wallahi. Ambao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you
All right, and welcome back to this Friday. Now, the Kenya National Examination Council has already put in measures to ensure the pilot of the Kenya Junior Schools Assessment will run smoothly. Now, the competency-based curriculum led to the restructuring of the basic and higher education in Kenya. The first cohort of grade 9 candidates will have their assessment next year if the pilot on the same is deemed successful and competent.
Kenya National Examination Council has now said that the pilot assessment that will be conducted for Kenya junior schools will not affect any operations of the institution.
We've been given that assurance, so there shouldn't be any anxiety in the country around the administration of the KCSE and the KIPSEA assessments at the end of this year.
They've also added that the sample student population has been drawn from various schools across the country, with 750 out of the 5,875 being those with special needs.
We will upload the assessment tools on our competency-based assessment portal. The schools will download. They can either print or they can just display the same on the projector on the board.
The timetable for the pilot assessment has already been sent out to schools ahead of time, with every participating student catered for.
We have our officers who have gone to those 30 schools and they are conducting a trial in those schools just to make sure that the schools are ready. They know how to use the gadgets.
Questionnaires will be issued to both the students and teachers in order to gauge the workability of the system and aid in bettering the curriculum,
so that we can establish exactly what are the other environmental and school-based factors that we may need to take into account as we prepare for the summative assessments.
The assessment will also see digital learning being put into practice and learners' passions being discovered to determine the way forward.
The head teacher's questionnaire, we want also to find out about some things about the school, curriculum coverage, and many other issues that again will help to give feedback.
Schools across the country have been selected for this pilot for the Kenya Junior School Assessment, which will enable NEC to determine the readiness of candidates for next year's maiden assessment. Reporting from the new Mitihani House, my name is Vera Alberta.
All right, so that's it for our main news, but let's now cross over to some business news. All right, now Kenya's 2024 Banking Industry Customer Experience Survey conducted by audit firm KPMG has ranked excellent customers' experience as the most overriding factor among customers in the banking industry. Now, the survey conducted in 3 regions, Nairobi, Coast and Western regions, with total sample size of about 866 customers, 75% of them being retail and 25% being business customers, ranked branch customer experience at 47% as the main reason why customers prefer certain banks. 42% of the banked population preferred the mobile banking app, 24% settling for bank branches, 6% saying they prefer charges and rates offered by banks, and 4% choosing internet banking. The Cooperative Bank of Kenya has been named the overall winner of the year 2022-2023 in customer satisfaction survey conducted by the Kenya Bankers Association. Cooperative Bank Managing Director and CEO Gideon Murioki says that the Cooperative Bank will continue to invest substantial resources in building the teams, the tools and the technologies to deliver a fulfilling customer experience across all the bank's service channels. All right, so that was the business news. Let's now move over to some sporting action.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets.
Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako, chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia,
All right, and the national team for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games was officially welcomed to the city of Miramar in France. Now, the team, Kenya's official training base and camp, was unveiled by the Miramar mayor in an event attended by the president of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, Dr. Paul Taragat. Also in attendance were the over 80 athletes and players who will be representing Kenya in athletics, rugby, volleyball, swimming, judo, and fencing.
Honorable Mayor, allow me to pay a special tribute to you and your entire team of dedicated personnel, officials, for the extraordinary support and collaboration we have received since the first day until the signing of the MOU, all the way to this day today. I'm confident that we are building such a powerful movement with one objective: to make Miramas not just the best home and experience for Team Kenya, but also a rich and enduring legacy for the wonderful people of this region.
Now, the second leg of the FKF Premier League playoff tie takes place this Sunday at Dandora Stadium in Nairobi County. Now, Sofapaka are fighting to remain in the top flight league, and they carry a 1-0 lead against Naivas FC, who are seeking to make their first ever appearance in the Premier League. If the aggregate score is tied after regular time, the team with more away goals will be declared the winner. If the teams are tied on both aggregate and away goals, the match will proceed to penalties.
Ile status yetu ya kubaiko Premier League, so tunaweza urge kama tusukume, tunaweza urge fans wetu wakam to support, because hii game ni very crucial for us. Unajua ni finali na tunataka ku remain kwa Premier League, tunataka ku maintain ile status yetu ya kubaiko Premier League, so tunaweza urge kama tusukume au support tuweze kuruka hii hurdle imebaki ya mwisho.
Tuta sit back because ya ile game moja, na vile tulisema tulisahau hiyo first leg, so hii second leg tunaenda ni kama ndio the main game tunacheza tuweze kupanda, so tunaenda all out kwa kuweza kupata ushindi.
The 102nd Kenya Amateur Match Play Championship enters the quarter-final stage on Saturday at Windsor Golf Hotel and Country Club. Now, those who progressed include champion Michael Karanga, who will take on Abel Balala tomorrow. Jay Shandu was also advanced and will square it out with Prani Kapoor of South Africa. Others who sailed through are Michael Alunga and John Koina. The winner of this competition will secure a ticket to play in the 2025 Magical Kenya Open.
The course is really nice, playing really good golf, so I'm glad that I made it through. Looking forward to the next round. For me, I'm here to win, so you know that's the end result I'm looking for, and I feel like I have the game at the moment, so should be very good this week.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets.
Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako, chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia,
That jam always has a kick to it. All right, guys, so we finished the first part of our bulletin tonight, of our show tonight, and this is where we get to the good stuff, right? So, of course, we have our guest, Millie Odhiambo. She's not feeling too well, but she's going to be joining us from her home. And also, we have Brenda Michelle. But before I get to her and her pets, I'm telling you, they just entered the studio and my face just lit up. Let me just take a look at some of your tweets here. Peter O. Mobisa, you say, Betty, Honorable Millie has been and will be my favorite legislator. Thank you for sampling out the best for us. Thank you so much. You're actually saying, I thereby tender a surmountable and immeasurable welcome to everybody who's going to be watching TV47 tonight. Thank you so much. And also you're saying you're also looking forward to Willis the Word Master. Me too. All right, Peter, you're also saying regards to the gallant Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Thank you so much. Laban Anyanga, you're saying you cannot afford to miss this. Janet Mutuku, you're saying our bad girl. I have been a Millie Odhiambo all through. You're saying that's my G. Thank you so much for all the tweets. Keep them coming. I do appreciate them. And you know what? Before we get to the bad girl, you know, Amilo Geza, let me introduce my guest anchor. How are you doing? Karibu, you look pretty.
Hi, Betty.
Oh my goodness.
This is
Hi.
Finn.
How are you? Does he bite?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me then give you a better hug.
Let me hug you next.
Okay, you know, I was fearing he would like...
No.
Oh my goodness, can I touch him?
He's pretty friendly. Yeah, you can try.
Hi, Prince. Oh, he's so soft. He's so soft. So does he like...
Prince, this is Betty. He watches the TV.
No way.
Yeah, you know her, right?
So, hi, Prince. So does he like repeat words?
Yes, he does.
And we'll make him repeat something?
No, I see.
Oh, right now he can't.
Under duress.
Oh, under duress.
Yeah.
Look at me. And also I can see you have a chow chow.
Yes, that's Yuka.
Okay, come.
But they fight, so we're going to see how this plays out.
Oh, they normally fight?
They're not friends.
All right, is he friendly?
Yes.
Oh my
Yuka
goodness.
is very friendly.
How are you?
He's a 5-month-old chow chow.
Pretty. Oh,
it's actually a girl.
Look at the, seriously, sorry. Come.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Oh my goodness, she's really. Are you seeing this? Okay, come, turn to the camera. Come.
He's a real life teddy bear. Yuka.
Look at that guy.
Oh, he said hi.
He said hi to our viewers, man.
Yuka.
Brenda, I'm looking forward to talking to you later on. So you mean that both of them fight?
Yeah, they don't
so
love
why do
each
they
other.
Fight?
I don't know beef ni nini, but I think it's their attention.
Okay.
Yeah, Yuka wants attention, Prince wants attention.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She's so pretty. Okay, so she's going to be our guest anchor later on in the show. So you can have a seat. Have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Chill out over there with Prince and Yuka.
Yuka. Okay, Yuka likes you.
Oh my, I know, girl. Yeah. What's up, girl? How you doing? Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, so guys, we'll take a short commercial break. We're coming back with our guest tonight, our bad girl, Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Stay tuned. Don't go away. Let me handle this one over here right now. Come.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of...
What point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries and turning dreams into reality.
Hata mbao ni pesa ya kusave. Wallahi. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Here on Beyond the Limit, we
And welcome back to This Friday with me, Betty Kialo. Thank you so much for the feedback. I'm seeing a lot of excitement and also a bit of sadness because, Honorable Millie is not here with us in studio. But you know what? Let's give her a break. She's not feeling well, but let's talk to her from the comfort of her home. Our bad girl, how are you doing tonight?
Much better, Betty. Thank you.
Okay, so what's happening? I know you told me that you had an issue with the throat. Have you gotten that at least checked out?
Well, I'm on medication. Mm-hmm. If it gets work, I'll get checked up. I had what appears like something going around.
Okay, all right, not to worry, but thank you so much.
It's something like influenza or whatever.
Okay. Well, not to worry. Thank you so much for joining us virtually. We do appreciate that. All right, so I just want to start off by just hearing, your thoughts about the two events that have happened yesterday and today. Starting, of course, with the cabinet dissolution and, of course, the resignation of Japhet Koome today. What do you make of these two events that have happened the last 24 hours?
Well, I would say, let me start with Japhet Koome, is that there isn't much love lost between us. He personally broke the windows of my car.
Oh.
So you can understand if I'm not worried that he has been released, other than the fact that he doesn't have a very strong record on human rights. And if you see one of the clips that was being played about him, it's more of being proud about going against the law. That doesn't make sense for me, especially if you're sitting in such an office.
Right.
So really, I'm not too bothered about his being, it's long overdue. And while sitting as the IG, he presided over the killing of many, many young people, young demonstrators. If you remember, actually was on record threatening to sue him.
All right.
Yeah, so really
Okay.
I don't mind his being relieved of his job.
Right.
But on the issue of the cabinet, I think it's a good move by the president. I wish it was done earlier, and not because I think all of them are bad. There are some good people in that cabinet, but I think something got into the heads of people when they get into certain spaces. There was too much show of opulence, too much show of arrogance. And people, they kind of lost touch with the common man and the common woman. So it's good for a good start for the president, especially at this point. I only wish it was even done much earlier. We didn't have to lose so many people. We didn't have to get to this point. But I think it's a very welcome move by the president.
All right. Mhesh, do you think that the president has good options with regard to replacing the cabinet secretaries who were fired yesterday?
There are so many Kenyans. I mean, really, you can't say if he has good options. The options are numerous. It's right now, it's up to the president to think very carefully and very critically because he has a chance. He's actually like on a precipice, if you ask me, that he can actually go completely down or get a chance to re-engineer and retransform. Because you've had the outcry of Kenyans, and I really want to thank the Gen Zs for being the voice of the country, for really the outpouring against poor governance, the outpouring against, lack of sensitivity on issues that affect the Kenyans. Some of us have spoken about it until you are sore. So I really want to thank the Gen Zs, and we've heard them loud and clear. And going forward, it's up to the president how he moves. He can actually move by changing the script or getting completely embroiled in the mud. So it's really up to him how he wants to move forward.
All right. Now, talking about that outcry and the month-long, protests here and there, did you see this Gen Z revolution coming? Also being one of the MPs who thankfully said no. Did you see this much of an uproar coming until things are happening so fast in our country?
I think anybody who thinks they saw this coming would be lying. It kind of caught most of us off guard. I knew that they would come out. I knew that they would protest. But the numbers that we saw, that was amazing. When when I went to, you remember I'd even said that I went to warn my colleagues in Parliament that the Gen Zs had come in, and I was more concerned because many of them are voted yes, they're still my colleagues, so I wouldn't wish ill on them. But when I went to tell them, and I knew also that there are people who had infiltrated the Gen Zs, and you don't know what their motives were. They could have harmed people, and then the Gen Zs could be blamed. So when I went to warn them, and some people were telling me, you know what, Millie, you like drama, that's not actually true. And I didn't actually understand the impact until I saw the numbers later and the resolve later. I mean, for me, I feel them because I've been in that kind of situation before. There was a time I fought off a gun out of the hands of a police officer outside Parliament when I thought I couldn't stand impunity. That was in the early 90s, I think. Early to mid-90s. I'm very poor with dates. But it formed, the headlines. Because I snatched off a gun off the hand of a policeman for shooting people.
Were you successful?
Yes, I did. I was successful. I got the gun off his hand. And I remember Honorable Raila Odinga, time stood still. Honorable Raila didn't know me then, but he walked up to me and said, young girl, never do such a thing. But for me, that time, my only concern was we're here demonstrating.
Yes.
Against the killings of students. That time it was university students that had been shot dead. I think at the University of Nairobi it was Muruli. Then when we were demonstrating against it, university students from KU were shot. So and then when we went to the outside Parliament, then the policeman was threatening again to shoot us. I'm like, hey, what's the matter with you? I went and grabbed the gun. I never held a gun in my life. And then Wafula Buke is the one who came and grabbed that gun from me and returned it back to the policeman.
Like you
and they were like, don't ever do such a thing, young girl. I have no clue what I was going to do with the gun because I don't even know how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Leave alone how to hold. I mean, I didn't even know how to hold it.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I feel Gen Zs.
Yeah.
Where, you know, in the face of impunity, in the face of poor governance, there's something within you that just rebels and says absolutely no.
Yes.
So I was happy for the first time that I could look through the eyes of our children and our grandchildren. Yes, the only bit that I wasn't told that I didn't realize that I caused my family usually that much stress because I wasn't sleeping when they were on the streets. When the Gen Zs are on the streets, I'm like, all the time, are they safe? Have they been shot dead? And it made me remember one time my sister told me she was walking on the streets in Kisumu. And somebody tweeted and said, Millie Odhiambo has been shot dead, and she sat right in the middle of the road.
What?
People had to come and
grab her.
Yeah. And I said, this is what our families go through when we go through those demonstrations.
Right.
We shouldn't be going through that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want you to take take us to that moment when, because you know you're in Parliament when you know that Occupy Parliament was actually successful. So tell me, like from your point of view, you're seeing these crowds gathering outside, and it's really crazy. At that point, what are you thinking, both as a leader, somebody who voted no? What are you thinking in your head? Are you scared in that moment? And what was the the atmosphere, even with the other legislators who you were with in that bunker?
Well, what I can tell you for a fact is that there are members who are scared. I wasn't really scared myself, but it was a weird situation. It was an unexpected situation because after we voted no,
yes,
we walked out, but we left our other colleagues, and I actually thought Parliament rose because it was after 1. But they apparently were waiting for us to go out, and they proceeded with the 2 other bills. So when we went out and we were standing outside the door, I saw these the police who are hooded, the ones who are called the killer police.
Right.
There were like almost 30 of them within Parliament. So when I saw them, I said, I don't know why these guys are here. And they could easily shoot members and then excuse it, say it's Gen Zs. So, and then also there was a young boy who had been brought by the gate, and I was like at a point in my life, I don't want to see any more young people killed, because I'd seen so much it had traumatized me.
Yes.
So I just turned around, and when I went back, there was pandemonium. People started running from the side of Senate, and they said the young people are here.
Wow.
So me, I was running towards the Parliament because there's also another road on that side.
Yes.
I get in and I warn my colleagues, and they tell me, you with your drama, get out of here. And I told them, no, they're here. And they're like, no, drama queen, And lo and behold, shortly after they come out and they decide they're going to eat, they didn't even eat. They were chased completely out of the place.
Yeah, I remember those scenes from Parliament.
Exactly. And I can tell you, when we got into the tunnel, I just said the only thing I could equate it with is the 90 minutes of Entebbe. You know that rescue when Israel did a rescue in Entebbe, the 90 minutes. I think we need to do another one, 90 minutes of parliament. Or of I mean, members were scared.
Okay.
I could see it. Members were scared, especially those who have voted yes. I only had one regret because my colleagues who have disabilities, when I was going for my bag to run off, I found them in one of the lounges. And really scared, they looked at me and they said, Millie, you are leaving us here. Then I said, where would I go with you? Then they said, but you, the Gen Zs like you, they won't attack you. And I did a quick calculation. I couldn't see where I was going to get out with them because the direction we would take is where the killer cops were. And the other side is not very disability friendly. So I just told them, all I can do, pray for you. And leave you here.
Okay.
And then sadly, later I saw Bishop being wheeled off. Yeah, I prayed. I whispered a 1 minute prayer. There was no time to whisper more than 2 minutes prayer. And later I saw Bishop being wheeled off. I felt so guilty, to be honest, because I was like, can you imagine if something wrong had happened to him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but yet on the other hand, I couldn't really stay. So for me, one of the things that we need to think about is how to make Parliament truly disability friendly.
Yeah, it's even shocking that it's not, and it's Parliament. Moving on, honestly, to
we've done a few things here and there, but this actually made us realize it isn't really disability friendly.
Okay.
In terms of now when people are running out, and then we don't have actually also a disaster. There is no disaster policy in Parliament, at least not to my knowledge.
My goodness.
Because the way even people were moving, now in this case they were our citizens. What about if it was terrorists?
Yes.
Because once we got into the tunnel, everybody was like, well, now if you move to the other side, they're going to block us on the other side.
Yes.
So it kind of just showed that our disaster preparedness is not good. It could be fire, it could be terrorists or whatever. So the disaster preparedness is not good. We had Toto, who was pregnant. I felt so bad. She couldn't move at the same speed as people. So I found that like almost at the entrance of the tunnel, she just sat down.
Wow.
One of the women MPs had collapsed out of shock, you know, and she'd voted no. But people were just, I mean, she'd voted yes, people were just passing her.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just crazy just thinking about everything that you've mentioned. But let's just go to the Gen Z.
And people had to be left out on like dead bodies in order to escape in ambulances.
Oh yeah, we saw that. Yeah, we saw the you know, some legislators hiding in the ambulance. I'm sure it was an interesting, very interesting day for them. They didn't see it coming.
Yes, absolutely. It was a long day.
It was a long day. Honorable, what do you think of the demands that the Gen Z are bringing forth? Now they've actually gone to the counties. Vihiga today, I don't know if you saw the news earlier, they were at the county governor's office, same as Machakos, and probably we'll be seeing this in the coming weeks, demanding for, to know where certain allocations were made, and if, the monies were used in the best way possible. What do you make of these demands that they're doing and everything, all these small protests that we're seeing all over now the country?
What I can tell you is it's an indictment on our institutions. Like the ESCC and other institutions that are made to look at, who to do that kind of work. If the Gen Zs can come out and actually show the gaps.
Yes. In a matter of hours.
Why wouldn't these institutions that are set up to do this, do what they are said, the Gen Zs are doing? But for me, I can tell you, it is correct. Let them go on. Even if I were to be a victim of them, this country needs straightening. It does need straightening.
Do you think Kenya will ever be the same again?
So when they say we need to sort out, Kenya would not be the same if the Gen Z stay with the same spirit, so I would want to urge them continue with the same spirit. Yes, continue with the same spirit. We need to be accountable.
Yes.
We need to, you know, get leaders to be actually servants. They are forced us to be servants. We are forgetting that we are servants. So I'm actually happy that they are taking us back to our roots. And our roles and our mandates as servants.
Yes.
Not people who lord it over others, you know. Because sometimes I listen, I'm not saying it just now because of Gen Zs. I've said it before on the floor of the house. I was even encouraging my colleagues on the other side, and I told them, you know, a change of guard in politics is only an event away. So be humble when you are dealing with others. Right. And you can see, if you look at the cabinet secretaries, yesterday they were cabinet secretaries, today they are not.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you are given that opportunity to serve it with utmost humility.
Yeah, absolutely. Now coming back to you know, as a legislator, thank you for everything that you've said about the Gen Z and also just supporting the cause from the start. I posted about you coming on the show, I think 2 days ago, and my goodness, the feedback was overwhelming. Everybody was like, that's our baddie.
Thank you.
And we'll talk about Actually, let's just talk about this bad girl thing. I actually thought I was a bad girl, but until I heard you saying it on the floor of the house. So tell us, what does it mean? What do you mean when you say you're a bad girl? I even saw it trending in Nigeria. I mean, across the continent, you know, people are wondering, who is this legislator? Who is this woman?
Well, I've actually got feedback, including by the author of the book that I was referring to. This book, Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office.
Yeah.
Yes, she even communicated with me, just thanking me about it. Okay. But and I've got communication from all over. My husband is currently he went to for a funeral at home, back in their country, and he was telling me that he's receiving, you know, communication from people from all over, from the UK, from the US, from all over. And I'm also getting communication, including people I don't know, they've searched my Facebook, and they're communicating from Nigeria, Ghana, all over, Malawi, South Africa.
You go, girl.
Why it is resonating, why the bad girl thing is resonating with a lot of people, is because society closets us as women.
Absolutely.
In certain corners, so that we cannot rise to a given level. You are told that if you are a nice girl, you shouldn't, you know, be overly ambitious. When you are a nice girl, you shouldn't be asking for XYZ. Like I can tell you right now that the cabinet positions, people have been sent home.
Yes.
What I can tell you for a fact is, even without going for a meeting, I know the men now are, you know, killing themselves trying to get into these positions. They are trying to look for Ruto and anybody else who can help them to get those cabinet positions.
Yes.
But we, as women, what are we told? As nice girls, sit at a corner and wait to be called. So I'm telling you, as a nice girl, if you are a Gen Z, you fought this war, please call William Ruto and tell him, I have this CV, I qualify to be a CS, I want to be appointed CS. Why not?
Yes.
If you qualify. Why should only the men be ones asking for those positions? Yeah. So Bad Girls is about really being assertive. It's not about being bad. It's very strangely. It's not, Bad Girls is not really about being bad. It's not about being outrageous, but it's being expressive and not allowing people to push you to a corner.
Right.
And if you can remember, I was referring to what the speaker told me earlier. And he was telling me, oh, you know, because I was shouting at some point, and he was telling me, oh, no, Honorable Millie, as the mother of the house, you know, you need to operate with the decorum. I've never heard him telling Ichungwa to operate with the decorum. So if Ichungwa can't operate with the decorum, why must I be the one to operate with the decorum? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If they can scream, I can scream.
Oh my goodness, I love
because it's that screaming that's got him where he is. Let my screaming also get me as far as I can go.
Oh, my goodness, it's so nice. And where do you get this boldness, Millie? Where do you get this boldness, this confidence, this vavavoom? You know, you enter a room and everybody, you know, will notice that Millie Amingia. And then I saw the other day you were dancing. I think it was at Carnival. Like, where do you just get this gusto for life?
Well,
teach us your ways.
It's because, first of all, I have faith in who I am.
Yes.
I am also a trainer. I train women, and first of all, the first thing I train women is be confident about who you are.
Yes.
Seek no permission from anyone about who you are.
Yes.
Don't look behind your back about who you are. Give no apologies about who you are. Then you can live who you are. I can give you the example of dancing, for instance.
Tell me about it.
I come from a very, very strong Christian background, and for the longest time in my life, I was always told if I dance, I'm sinful. And one time I just stopped and I said, hey, do you think with my nice heart, loving and believing in God, God will stop me from going to heaven because I dance? I said, that must be their God. My God, the biblical God, cannot stop me from going to heaven because I dance. So I dance and I'll sort it out with God. I will not be limited by people who have their own interpretations of the Bible.
Amen.
The God I know knows that I'll dance and I will still go to heaven.
Yeah, what's wrong with dancing?
Yeah.
That is, you're going to sort it out with God. I love that, Millie. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'll sort it out with God.
My goodness, I love that.
I hear the Gen Zs, I was told Gen Zs only fear marriage and hot porridge. Me, I only fear God.
Yeah, Gen Zs, they said.
At least I don't fear hot porridge.
The things Gen Z fear, oh my, yeah, for sure, you're right. This is marriage and hot porridge. Well, I fear hot porridge. I don't know about the other one.
Well, I don't fear hot porridge. Well, but what I'm telling you essentially, in life, have confidence in who you are.
Yeah.
You don't, nobody gives you permission to live this life, and you only live once.
Yes, absolutely.
So don't live your life apologetically.
All right.
And then me, what I always tell people at the end of the day, nakuja, my place is a humble abode. Ndio nakuja, I don't ask somebody's permission to go to their house. Yeah.
All right.
And so the only thing I tell you, kama uko na shida na mimi, unreport either kwa polisi, but fortunately even the IG of police has been dismissed, so just report me to God only at this point.
Stop it, Millie. Oh my goodness. You know what? We're going to take a short, quick commercial break, but we're coming back right now with you. Please don't go away. For our viewers, my goodness, there you have it, the baddest of them all. See you after this short commercial break.
Roll and have a chance to win.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries, and turning dreams into reality.
Hata mbao ni pesa ya kusave. Wallahi. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
And welcome back to this Friday. Thank you so much for staying with us. We've been speaking to the lovely Millie Odhiambo, Amilo Gesageza. Coming back to you, Hesh, if you're there, I just want us to discuss you and, of course, your legislative duty. You've been MP for, this is your 4th term. So tell us, what is the secret? And,
Yes.
Where are we heading? Are we seeing a potential of seeing, Millie Odhiambo as a presidential candidate in the coming election? From here, where are we going to next?
Well, Betty, what the secret is actually listening to your constituents.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do a lot of work at the national level, but a lot of the work at the national level is informed a lot by what I hear on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If you see me pushing an agenda of fishermen, it's because I've heard from fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
If you see me pushing an agenda of women who have issues with reproduction, it's because I've heard from them. But it's vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell you today, I was supposed to be in a school called Nduru in Lambwe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Except that I'm unwell. But even when I've not gone there, I still send my representation there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also about empathy. I empathize with my constituents in bad times,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also with them in their good times, but especially in their bad times.
Right.
But above all, it's listening. Listening sounds very simple, but the most difficult thing for leaders.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually the biggest challenge that this administration has faced is the failure to listen.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds simple, as I've said, but very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. What about going forward, presidency? Of course, it's a possibility, but not this coming elections. We still have our leader until he gives us the go-ahead, because I have party discipline. So our party leader can tell us whether it's vying or not. If it's not vying, why not? It's a possibility.
Okay.
Because we don't limit ourselves as women. Why is it that only men are the ones who vie all the time? Yeah.
All right. As we wind up our conversation, what do you think of the female leadership that you're seeing coming up? And I'm sure you have inspired quite a number of, female, leaders who are now in power. How do you think they're faring on? How do you think they're doing so far?
For the women leaders?
Yes.
Well, the women leaders are doing really, really well. I'm very impressed. Both KK and even the Azimio side, the women leaders are doing really, really well.
Right.
The standard even for representation has gone very high with most of the women leaders. The only challenge we face in the National Assembly is that the time for women to contribute is usually very limited. So even when you have women who are really good, sometimes we are not able to see their worth because they don't have that time. But you are seeing a much younger parliament, a much more educated parliament, a much more informed parliament. So it's a good thing.
Right.
The only balance is I would want to ask party leaders to help their members within parliament so that they don't find themselves in awkward situations where party positions goes against their own constituency, interests.
Absolutely.
Because I could really sympathize with, say, some of my KK sisters who would rather go with their constituents, but the party is pushing an agenda on them.
Okay.
I don't think it's a very fair thing.
Okay.
So I think what I would urge both ODM and KK, that we need to see how we can work around that, so that we don't put our, the leaders in awkward situations like that.
All right. Wow, man, I wish we had more time, Mesh, our bad girl. Thank you so much for, talking to us as much as you're feeling unwell. But I'm looking forward to another, conversation. There's still a lot to talk about the work you've done so far in Suba North and so much more. So I'm looking forward to having you in studio at some point, but I really do appreciate you coming, to join us from your home. What do you have to say? Maybe a few last words? Yes.
Well, just that I want to say to the Gen Zs, really appreciate you, really happy with what you've done. Keep the spirit going. But even us, you also listen to us, some of us who've been there, but you're doing well. Listen to us. There's also a lot to learn from those of us who've gone ahead.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That's Honorable Millie Odhiambo, Suba North Member of Parliament, and her latest title, Bad Girl or a Baddie. Thank you so much. So right now, as you know, it is time now to move over to our next segment, which of course is our guest anchor segment. And I'm sure you saw the lovely Chow Chow. That dog is called Chow Chow, by the way, if you didn't know, the one that was actually licking the lens over there. Such a sweet pup. How are you?
I'm doing
Hi,
great.
Prince. So does he talk? Does he is it noisy at home when you're sleeping?
Really noisy. He's the namuitanga mwenye nyumba because of how vocal he is. He's so loud, but we love him for that.
So how did you get to having all these pets? First of all, how many do you live with?
30 as of now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
30, yeah.
30 of them. So what are they? Dogs?
Yeah, dogs, mostly dogs. And then a few cats, and then there is a Prince. And I'm hoping to get more birds.
Really?
Yeah.
So it should be expensive feeding them, 30 animals.
Yeah, it's quite expensive.
All right.
But it's sort of like the way you collect cars.
Yeah.
For me,
collect animals.
Yeah.
And where do you have a big, place, compound where they run around? Because I'm sure there's a lot of activity and everything.
Yes, because I have a lot of active breeds like golden retrievers, Dobermans. Those require a lot of exercise. Yeah, and then the lazy ones like the Chow Chow.
She's like a big teddy bear. Oh my goodness.
Like a mini lion.
Oh, such a cutie. So where did all this, passion come from? Were you like this since you're a kid? I know you're here with your daughter somewhere.
Yeah.
Were you like this since you're a kid? Ama, it's something ilianza tu juzi. Ukaanza kuona, oh, it's so cute, such a dog. I want this dog. I want that bird. How did you start?
So I grew up in Mombasa, and in Mombasa there is this stigma with cats, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, majini, umefuga majini, So I kind of felt connected, especially to the because I didn't quite fit in myself. So it felt like we are vibing with the stray cats. Yeah.
Oh, there are even stray cats.
Yeah. They're stray cats because I wasn't allowed to keep any.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm an empath. Bet if you started crying right now, I'll just start.
You'll start crying.
Yeah.
And all the other animals will continue crying.
Yeah.
So that's where it came from. Just wanting to help the stray cats.
Yeah.
Then it went to dogs.
Yes. Now it turned to dogs when I met my husband. My husband is the one who sort of introduced me to loving dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first
it had to grow on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look at you now with 30 different animals.
Yes.
All right. So let me just ask something about Prince. I've seen him on Instagram drinking juice.
Yeah.
King treatment, or should I say Prince treatment? Yeah.
So mwenye nyumba anapenda
So mwenye nyumba is not your husband? Excuse me.
I know, but he runs the house. I'm telling you, he's so vocal. He's so confident.
He's looking at me like, what you asked? Ametulia.
But anakusize.
And he's looking at me.
Place.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. My goodness. You guys, you have to follow Brenda Michelle on Instagram. I'm sure TikTok comes.
Of course.
Of course. Gen Z guys. Gen Z.
And if you want to see the animals, Dog Lovers Kenya.
Oh, yeah. You should go to Dog Lovers Kenya on Instagram if you want to see the animals, play with them. Yeah. I mean, that would be amazing. So, thank you so much for coming. So we'll do this. We'll take a short commercial break. And then when we come back, she's going to have a trial to see, apart from dogs, can she read the news, bro? Okay.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
What point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave. Wallahi. Ambao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Here on Beyond the Limit, we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of individuals who redefine possibilities. In a journey of resilience and determination, these individuals demonstrate that limitations are merely stepping stones to greatness.
I'm Nancy Njoroge, a mother of 3. I have 2 girls and a boy who is Clinton and who is autistic.
When my heart got healed, I decided to come out to be creating CP awareness, to let other people know that there is such a condition, and people that has it is not that they are witches.
Together, let's go beyond the limit every Saturday at 8 p.m.
Welcome to The Realtor, where we take you on an exciting journey from bare land to dream home. Step 1. Finding the perfect plot. We explore location, size, and potential. Next, construction begins.
And welcome back, and welcome back. I was just interacting with the dog Yuka, and I think I'm in love, and I think that's the dog I want to get. For real.
Anapenda attention.
Anapenda attention. Yeah, that's the energy. And he's so fat and so cute and chubby. Cuddly.
Mini bear.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm sold. All right, so let's get to serious business. So there you have the introduction, introduce yourself, Prince, and then take it away. Try it out. Go ahead and kick ass.
So look at there. Okay. This is Brenda Michelle and Prince. We're going to be reading your news today. Residents of Intalala Loitoktok area, Kajiado South, are mourning the death of 4 family members who died in a tragic fire incident. According to the residents, a man and a pregnant woman and 2 children were trapped in their house during the blaze. The residents only managed to salvage some parts of the family's car and are now calling for thorough investigations to uncover the truth behind the incident.
Kitu tuliokuwa tu hapa ni gari ndio tuliweza kuokoa
dunia ilikuwa inaanza kushika moto. Hiyo ndio tofauti kuokoa kama majirani wa hapa, lakini watu waliunguluka ndani, baba na mama na watoto wawili, watu walishuka ndani. Kwa hivyo moto ilituzidi nguvu. Tutoka manyumbani tufike hapa, ulikuwa tumekuta moto imeshazidi nguvu. Tukalemewa. Ikabaki tu ni mshangao. Na hatujui nani ametendea kitendo. Ngomba tu uchunguzi ifanye.
Hii taarifa nilipopokea ilifanya kunipa mshtuko wa moyo kwa sababu juzi jana Mulelo nilikuwa ninamuona akiwa sambani. Sasa kiliotokea jambo kama hii nikashtuka sana kwa sababu hata nikilala nilimuuliza mmeshindaje, akaniambia wameshinda salama.
Naona kama ni wivu tu ya maisha. Kwa sababu amefungiwa mlango kwa nje na akachomwa ndani. Sasa tumepigwa na butwa, maana usiku huwezi kujua ni nani amekuja akachoma boma. Ila tu tunaona hata gari yake imebondwa. Tunaambiwa ya kwamba ni hao watu waliokuja kufanya hizo visanga hapa na tuwajui ni wakina nani.
My goodness, you actually did it.
Really?
Yeah, you did it.
I'm actually dyslexic, so you can imagine I was under pressure kidogo for a minute.
You're dyslexic?
Yeah.
But look at that. You just needed to come to TV 47
well,
to just know that you can actually do it. Thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure.
And Prince as well.
Oh my goodness. There you go. So guys, follow Brenda Michelle on Instagram or Dog Lovers if you want to go and spend time with her, with the pets. Do you charge to have people coming to the place where the pets are?
No, we actually organize shows for people to come see the pets.
Sorry?
We organize shows.
Okay.
Yeah, for people to come and see the dogs.
And you don't charge?
For the show, no, it's free.
Oh, you're so kind.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I would charge, man. Like, look at the way the yucca is so cute. I think
party ideas. So.
Yeah. Why not? So thank you so much. Ama, you want to gift yucca to me? I'm strong candle.
Yucca is my baby.
All right, thank you so much, ladies. Oh, so my director says it's actually his birthday, so he wanted the cat. The cat. I saw a cat somewhere as a gift.
Okay.
No,
Sudan.
You want to
come Sud Ketu?
Oh, you call him Sudan?
Yeah, Sudan. I like using countries to name them.
Just right.
Come.
Okay.
Immaculate.
Okay, Immaculate. How are you? Wow, but she looks angry.
No. This is a Maine Coon. Wanakwanga na sura personal kidogo, but I promise you wako sawa.
Uizi manze. Uizi.
Say hi. That's better. You see? Yeah.
Wana nasimama.
No, hata anainua mkia.
Amefurahi.
Yeah, amefurahi.
But she's shy. Hi.
Yeah, just a bit.
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi. Okay, not for me, not the cat. but she's cute.
Salimia watu.
Say hi to
watu.
Oh my goodness. Okay, it's enough now. It's too much love.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Brenda Michelle, for tonight. I really appreciate it. Guys, follow her, Brenda Michelle, like I mentioned, and Dog Lovers Kenya on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And just check out the good work she's doing with all the animals. All right, for now, let's head over to Willis the Word Master for Which is Which. Time for Which is Which with the one and only Willis, the Word Master. Willis, I'm telling you, show leo imekuwa moto sana, imekuwa moto. Kwa hivyo, we are starting our segment a little bit late, but I hope you've enjoyed our conversation with our Geza Geza.
No problem.
Yeah, so Willis.
Betty,
yes.
You know, those kind of interviews, they are great.
Yeah.
Out here, when people watch TV 47, they just feel wow.
Thank you so much.
Interviews, Betty.
I appreciate it. She was such a great guest. I'm so happy that she made time, even if she was unwell, but I'm happy that she was here with us today. All right, Willis, let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to our words. And for me, I start with this one. I'll spell it out. OESOPHAGUS. How do we go about that one? The thing.
Oh, that is the other word for gullet, and that is that muscular pipe or tube, and you say esophagus, Betty.
Okay.
You don't say oesophagus and you don't say esophagus.
Okay. Esophagus. That's a surprise, Willis. Esophagus it is. That's a big surprise. Most people say esophagus, but it's esophagus. Got
It
you.
happens. It happens. As I always say, nobody in this world can be perfect or spotless, Willis included.
Okay, Willis. Moving on to this other word, I'll spell it out, M-E-L-E-E, like some sort of excitement. How do we go about that one?
Oh, that one you say melee, not melee. When you talk about a scuffle or a scramble or some excitement, you talk of melee, not melee, the way many people innocently say locally. A goal mouth, melee.
Okay. Melee. That's also a surprise. Moving on to this other one, E-S-S-A-Y. How do we say that word? How do we pronounce it? Essay.
Betty, you write an essay.
Okay.
Essay, the way you have said it. Essay, not essay.
Okay.
Essay, no. Essay.
Essay it is. Moving on to this other one. Willis, do we say regalia or regalia? Or is there any other pronunciation?
Oh, Betty, those emblems or ornaments, you call them regalia. Regalia, that is the word. The spelling is like, you know, what our eyes see is regalia. But you say regalia, regalia, not regalia.
All right, Willis, got it. Regalia it is. All right, Willis, I just ask you to stay on the line. We just have a small technical hitch, but we're coming back to you. Don't go away.
Mbona niroke sai? Raukia Maybets Happy Hour. Ujishindie over 50,000 shillings daily. Na kuparticipate ni simple sana. Stake a minimum of 49 bob tu on sportsbook games, casino, virtual ama crash games. Na ukumbuke pasani 5 am hadi saa 5 mchana. 100 winners watakuwa na chance ya kugrab 10,000, 5,000, 3,000, 1,000 na many more prizes kila asubuhi. Unangojea nini mtu wangu? Taukia pia.
Na siku njema uonekana pesa ikiingia, pesa ikiingia.
All right, and welcome back. We do apologize for that slight technical hitch. We now want to reconnect again with Willis, the word master, Willis Chieng, joining us from Kisii. We had already, tackled a few words. Willis, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm right here, Betty. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you, Willis, for holding on. So apologies for that issue, but we're now good to go. So, Willis, moving on, I just want us to just quickly recap the last word. Is it regalia or regalia before we got that issue?
As I said, what our eyes see is regalia in terms of spelling or the letter sequence. But what you say in terms of pronunciation, Betty, is regalia. Regalia, not regalia.
All right, regalia it is. Thank you so much, Willis.
Yes.
All right, so let's move on now to the words that you have for us tonight, Willis. Take us through them.
Yes, now we have Masiga Ralph. You say channel, channel, not channel. Just like you say panel, not panel. Chapel, not chapel. Then we have it Peter Walker of Mtwapa, Mombasa. Thank you for loving TV47 and this Friday with Betty that much. Keep it up. Now you say anathema, anathema, or you can say anathema. In fact, anathema with a stress on the second syllable is the best pronunciation. Anathema. Then your second word, anesthetist, anesthetist. Anesthetist, but you can also say anesthetist. Then we have Anthony Ocheng Adongo of Rongo. You say entrepreneur or entrepreneur, but you can also say antro. But that is specifically in American English. Then we have Bethuel Mwaura. You say, oh, jail. Jail, elate, and largesse. Joseph Osune, sorry for that. At Joseph Osune of Nairobi, you say phoenix, not phoenix, not phoenix. Then we have Kamau Mwangi, you say excellency, excellency, his excellency. Then we have the next person here is Mbai Stephen, you say dinosaur, hippopotamus, and Worcestershire, not Worcestershire, Worcestershire. Then we have Yusuf Galmogle of Lysamis, that is in Marsabit County. You say Ajax, Ajax, not Ajax. Then you have Paris, Paris, but you can also say Paris in English. Your last one, you say Seychelles, Seychelles. Then we have Mahmoud Abdallah of Malindi. You say cowardice, cowardice, not cowardice. Cowardice, no. The last person, because of time, Betty.
Yes.
The others, I'll take care of them next week.
Yes.
And we have Cornelius Osiango of Vihiga. And I believe the people in Vihiga, what they always say, the ones saw Betty there, and they won't forget it so many years ago. Not so many, but about 3, 4, 5 years ago when you did a show there. Betty, you say maze, maze, M-A-C-E. Maze,
Okay,
not maze, maze.
Maze.
Now, Cornelius Osiango, I believe you've got that. Otherwise, Betty, we have the surprise word right here.
Yes, actually,
and you say
on that, actually, Willis,
cement, cement.
Okay, actually, Willis, we have the word on the street from Kenyans. Maybe we can listen to that and see what they said this time round before we tackle it.
And then we come to this.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay.
Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist. Ophthalmologist.
Okay, Willis, there we go. So actually they were not tackling the cement, but ophthalmologists. But I think actually most of them got it right, if I'm not wrong, Willis. Have you had any right pronunciation from
That
those?
is the point, Betty. We are having Kenyans improving because this is a mouthful, and you can realize what is a bit tricky is whether that L is silent or not when you are talking about an eye specialist, somebody who diagnoses and treats eyes. You say ophthalmologist, ophthalmologist, and so many people, or that is most of them who tried their tongues, got it right. And that is very progressive and very, very promising in terms of trying our tongues, Betty.
Right, absolutely. So actually, most of them are almost getting there. But thank you for that, Willis. So
yes, when people learn like brothers and sisters, you can manage anything. As I always say, some can be tricky or long, but manageable, Betty.
Absolutely, thank you. All right, now, Willis, we can go to the surprise word as we wind up.
Yeah, we can go to our surprise word for tonight. Many people say cement. Cement, no. Whether this word functions as a verb or a noun, you say cement.
Cement.
Cement. You can see the phonetic transcription that I have given here to guide you on how to pronounce words. If you know how to interpret or to understand these special sound symbols, you can sometimes use also call a dictionary to check the pronunciation of a word. So you say cement. Betty, how do you say it?
Cement.
Cement. That is the pronunciation, Betty. But those who want to be in touch with us can always reach me, send their words even throughout the week, because we will do the needful, and that is use this X handle. The Twitter handle is right here at Willis Ochieng 1. You can also use at Betty M. Kialo, and you can also use that other handle, which is at TV47 News. And we'll always do what you need us to do.
Well, it's such a great pleasure as always. Every Friday you make our Fridays even better on the show. Thank you so much, Willis, the word master Willis Ochieng 1, joining us from Kisii County, talking to us about those difficult pronunciations that you've heard today. So thank you so much, Willis, and he brings us to the end of our show. I really do appreciate the feedback, everything that you've said about our interview with the lovely bad girl, Millie Odhiambo. Let me just take a look at some tweets over here. Let's see. Oh, Aleki Angosho. Actually, you want Willis to actually help you with some pronunciation. We'll do that next week, I promise you. There we go. We say, okay, so let me just refresh this. Okay, Peter Walker, you say a really lovely show. Tune in from Twapa, Mombasa. Willis Ochieng, good to see you, sir. And you're saying you wanted some pronunciation, help in pronunciations. We'll do that again next week. We really do appreciate, you know, everything, all the comments, all the feedback. There are so many I'm trying to sift through, but inashindikana. But thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. We'll see you again next Friday, right here on TV47. The show is this Friday with me, Betty Kialo. Next week is actually going to be hotter, you know, kutakuwa kumoto sana. So see you again next week. I really appreciate you watching. Good night and see you. Bye. Lovely weekend. Cheers.